Good evening. My name is Bongi Wezwane. We begin here at this hour. The Basic Education Department has announced the rewrite of the leaked maths and science matric papers. Minister Angie Motshekga apologized to matric students and their parents, but said this is unavoidable as the papers were leaked using electronic communications. There was no clear way to identify how extensive this was.
They haven't considered all the factors, including our engagement with Umalusi. We agreed as CM that there must be a national rewrite of your maths paper 2 and your physical science paper 2. It's the first time in our history that we have a national rewrite. It's a very difficult decision, and I must say, a very sad decision to take. We've had provincial rewrites, but it's the first time ever that we find ourselves having to do a national rewrite. As I said, there continue to be difficulties. There are parts of the sector which is not in agreement, but as I say, finally, we had to take the decision. So what we want to announce today is that the maths paper will be written on Tuesday, the 15th of December. We couldn't find an earlier date, timetables chock-a-block, but we also felt that they need time to refresh themselves. Again, there were views, others were saying we have to give them chance to write, but we can't wait for next day. Others say, whilst our learners are still in the mood, exam mood, we should just capture that moment. So to be written on the 15th of December at 2 p.m. And unfortunately, we couldn't find any other space. So the physical science paper 2 will be written on Thursday, the 17th of December, so even beyond our exam period, at 9 a.m.
We'll now discuss the rewrite process with Professional Educators Union General Secretary Ben Machipi. Dr. Machipi, good evening, and thank you so much for your time tonight. What's your reaction to the decision by the Basic Education Department to have these papers rewritten?
Thank you, Bongo, for having us. You know, from the Professional Educators Union, we received the decision with a pinch of salt, considering that our kids went through a lot because of COVID-19. While we thought they've made it to the final examination, here comes this. But having said that, we welcome the decision, particularly when it comes to Umalusi, who are the final arbiters of our examination. Remember, this is a body that will certify the credibility of the examination. So we welcome that, and we will support our learners. We urge our members, our teachers in general, and the parents to support these learners to write the examination. To our learners, this exam is just a rewrite. It's not the end of the world. Let them prepare as they did with the previous question papers, and they will make it when they got our support.
And Dr. Machipi, some of the unions have been upset at this decision. SATU was certainly not pleased with this particular announcement. What do you say to those that tonight are disappointed by this decision to rewrite these papers?
Well, we are also disappointed, we must indicate, but it's not a matter of ourselves being disappointed. Like I indicated, Umalusi is the arbiter of the examination. They are the body that will give final ratification of our examination. Even if we are not satisfied, but as long as Umalusi is directing that we should rewrite, there is nothing we can do. So we are saying we welcome the decision now. Is very painful, but we welcome it, and we will support our learners so that they rewrite. You know, there is nothing that we can do, because if we do not accept this, the credibility of our examination will be questioned. You remember that in this subject, mathematics and physical science, year in and year out, we've got more than 20 learners who are getting 300 out of 300 because they shall have worked very hard. But if we leave the situation as it is, we will not differentiate those who have worked hard and those who benefited from the league.
And I wonder then what conversations, have been taking place since the announcement with your members, especially because, some of them may be suffering from fatigue. It's been a difficult year. They've also had to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic on top of everything else.
Yes, it is very difficult as leaders of the union because we are to convince our members. They are vehemently opposed to this. But after we have indicated to them that this is the state of affairs, there is nothing we can do because if we boycott this, it is on the future of our kids. So we have convinced them. And the other thing that we have to do is to encourage them that they should convince the kids so that they can write, and also convince the parents and also convince the community in which they are working so that they accept this so that our learners can be supported and rewrite the examination. It is very tough, I must say.
And what support are you then giving the teachers that are under your unions in order for them to be able to cope with this? Because, you know, as you say, it was even difficult for them to even accept this decision.
No, it is only a psychological support and also to indicate that teaching is part of leadership. All they need to do is to take the remaining time and support these learners so that they prepare them again so that they can write the examination. Prepare them psychologically so that they can be able to have the courage, they can be able to put back everything and they put their mind where the examination is so that they can be able to write the examination. So we are urging them to provide leadership at their level as teachers.
And I mean, this paper was leaked, these papers were leaked electronically, and certainly difficult to tell how wide the problem has been. Would you say that there's now a need to look at the security system differently? Because in the past it used to be just one paper that would then be photocopied, but now if it was leaked electronically and circulated via social media platforms like WhatsApp, certainly it means then that the approach of security around these papers may need to change.
Definitely so. What worries us is that we learned today that the printing of these question papers was outsourced through a tender system. You know, if you DBE, we are wondering why are they not having the resources they've got, the government printing agency, why are they not using this? Because they outsource from companies that are not credible and even the employees that are not vetted. So this is a problem because they do not have control over what is happening. So it means the security of our question papers is greatly challenged. And maybe this is a rude awakening to the Department of Education that they need to put their act together because what has happened really is bad for the country.
All right. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We certainly do appreciate it that professional educators